Hi everybody, I'm going to start this new series of what games and movies I've watched over the past week. This first episode, these are probably over the 2 weeks. I kind of forgot, lost track. But I'll do a list here real quick. I watched on VHS Braveheart, Once Upon a Time in America, Die Another Day, the James Bond movie, the Western called The Long Riders, Passenger 57, Bringing Down the House, and then the last VHS was Beyond the Stars. I watched one DVD called Hard Time, Hostage Hotel. However, when you watch the film, it's just called Hostage Hotel, so I don't know where the hard time came from. Two games I've been playing are Lego Indiana Jones and Elder Scrolls Oblivion for the Xbox 2. So I'll just go through these and maybe put annotations in the info so you can skip ahead if you want to hear about a particular title. I've been doing reviews on my site more in depth, more I want to try to rank them, so I'm going to try to work on that and then maybe add these to it. But we'll see. Let's go through these. I watched Beyond the Stars. This one. The box looks really kind of cheesy. But it had to do with space. I was kind of in the mood for like a sci-fi film. There Martin Sheen and Christian Slater's in it. Sharon Stone's in there as well. I was all excited. There's a big rocket ship blasting off there. Nice stock footage and a guy on the moon. And then there's space. And it kind of looks like one of those IMAX movies almost, the way it's designed. And the back's pretty cheesy. They're like in love right there, and they're on a swing set. But I made a joke on my Twitter thing that the movie should be called Beyond the Sail, because most of the movie isn't dealing with space. It's about the boy there and the old astronaut, bonding out, and everybody goes sailing, and I don't understand. There isn't really much sci-fi about it, and really you could skip. It wraps up in the last 10 minutes there, so. And I'll add some spoilers here. So Martin Sheen's guy finds a rock on the moon when he goes up there, and it's like an alien life form inside of a rock, and it's kind of really cheesy special effects there. And there's kind of a mystery about it, but really doesn't happen till the last few minutes of the film, and then you're kind of left with like, well, that sucks, because the idea was that Christian Slater is gonna, he's determined to be an astronaut and go back there and take it back or something, and like that's so implausible. So I'd probably give the film I'd give it a C. I've seen a lot worse movies, but kind of interesting. I watched, I can't really stand this one up, but Hard Time, or like I said, it was Hostage Hotel is what it's called in the titles. I think it was a TNT movie, if I'm not mistaken. I was expecting a lot more from this. I never heard about it before. It had Burt Reynolds in it, and the action things, it looked nice, like it would be something fun to watch, and it's not very suspenseful, and it's just kind of a lazy attempt, I think. Kind of a bad direction as well on how, because it had Burt Reynolds and they kind of messed it up. And the disc isn't that great either, so not that spectacular. So I'd probably give that one another C. It was all right. This is the first one I've watched back through all these. Is Braveheart again on VHS. Probably a lot different watching on DVD or Blu-ray, but had this one laying around. I don't know about this film. I have mixed feelings always about it. I guess it depends on what other Mel Gibson films you've seen, but it kind of fits in the theme of everything. I always thought his hair was kind of a little too crazy 90s, and the sword doesn't really play as much into the film as they make it out in the trailer either. But I guess this film has a little something for everybody. Basically, he just kind of goes on mad revenge killing, and it's supposed to be like pseudo history of him trying to, take back his country and stuff. But you don't really know. Kind of like Robin Hood, you don't really know how much of that's true or not. But I like it. The action scenes are nice. I'm sure it looks a lot better on widescreen. One thing I didn't understand is he saved his wife or whatever from being raped, and then she gets killed anyways, and then it sends him on this, that's what catapults him to go. But I think it would be more dramatic that if she got, because he stopped her before she got raped. But I think if she got raped too, I think it would be more like, it would really tug at his heart more and make him a lot more crazy and angry, and then we could see him starting out being more wild about the battles and taking more chances. Then later on he gets calms down, I guess. I never liked the ending either, because it was kind of like anticlimactic, because he just gets captured and then he gets killed, and they don't really show the death scene that much, and I don't know. I just feel like it didn't end as well as it could have. But I like this one. I'll probably give it a B. I watched Die Another Day. It's a funny James Bond movie. This one's a special edition too on VHS. I don't know. It has Halle Berry in it. I think this is her perfect movie for her, because it's kind of her level of acting, or what I see. Anyways, I don't know. But it's just really, it's fun to watch because it's so ridiculous. There's just so many different non-plausible things that they really didn't have to do. Like, they have a cool, they want to have a car chase in a James Bond movie, but they do it on ice, and it's one thing that James Bond car has all these gadgets and stuff, but this other guy, the main villain's brother or something, he has all the gadgets too, and it just seems so out of place. And then there's that blonde girl. He thinks she's kind of like a traitor, but it's so obvious. And then the part I think he skis in the first part of the mission in the movie. Skis into the beach or something, and it's that's ridiculous. I haven't watched the special features on it, but I'll probably give this one a D, F. This is probably one of the worst James Bond movies. Kind of sad that this is the last one he was in. I never saw this one, Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin. It says one of the funniest movies ever. And Queen Latifah when she was still relevant. This movie makes me think it's a Tyler Perry movie, because there's no way I think they could release this now, like the way it is. I don't know what year this came out. It's a tape, so it's probably the 90s or something, but it's pretty much kind of racist, or I don't know. Steve Martin kind of tries to pretend he's like a black person or something, and it doesn't work, because they're in the middle of, when they're if it was back in the 70s when he's on Saturday Night Live, it'd have been hilarious. But now when it came out, it's just the wrong time period for it. But there's some funny bits into it, but it just seems so implausible. He's like a lawyer guy, and then this woman kind of comes into his house and he can't get rid of her, and Like he already tells his boss or his friend that he's like seeing somebody online, so he already is in. You know, somebody's gonna know about it, and like it's not even that big a deal. And he's a lawyer, and he's like an executive and the lawyer. They're not gonna fire him, so the whole premise is kind of stupid. Kind of a, I don't know, kind of dumb movie. Probably I give it a D, maybe a C. I don't know. I probably won't watch it that much. Passenger 57. I think this is a remake of a 70s movie, if I'm not sure. I always like the bad guy in this movie. This is a fun movie. I like Wesley Snipes a lot. But his character is kind of weird because he plays this guy. He's like head of security and for the airlines. You'd think that you'd have a certain kind of attitude, and his attitude is kind of like. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's kind of playing like the black stereotype, of hating on the white people and stuff, and it just doesn't really fit his job title, and maybe if it took place like in decades ago or something, but it just kind of was like this weird vibe he had for no reason, and there was no like it didn't pan out or anything, and it just seems really odd. But the action's fun. It's like a lot of cool scenes in it. Kind of like a Air Force One, but like a light version of it, I guess. But I like that one. I watch that every once in a while. I'll probably give it, middle of the road. And this one here, I had never watched because the cover looks so cheesy. It kind of looks like, I don't know if my box is kind of faded or not, but it kind of reminds me of those like dollar movies. But it's the Long Riders. It has a lot of people in it. A lot of these people don't remember him much, but the Carradine brothers, and then the Quaid brothers, and the Guest brothers. So there's a lot of big stars, and I didn't really know it was supposed to be about the Jesse James gang until like halfway through the movie. So I think they should have announced that sooner or something. But I'm not. Maybe if I watched the trailer too, but they had the trailer at the beginning of the movie, which I hate because sometimes you accidentally watch something that ruins it. So I kind of closed my eyes and went through that. But this is a really great Western for being a new one. There wasn't really that big of an epic shots like in most Westerns with the landscape and stuff. And when they got into most of the time it takes place in the city. And they're not really super wide, which I didn't like. It was kind of more shot like an action movie was. But it's really great acting, and the story is really nice. The ending, again, it kind of doesn't end the way I know it's kind of based on history or whatever, and they can't. So they're trying to stick to that, but. Oh, I just noticed I have paint on my hands if you saw that, so that's what that is. But I like it a lot. I'll probably watch it a couple times again. I think it's directed by... Oh yeah, Walter Hill. He did that, I forget what that movie is. He done this other movie I like a lot. I can't remember it, but I really like this one. I'll probably give it a B. I watched Once Upon a Time in America. I was kind of intimidated by this because I thought this was going to be kind of a real hard movie to follow, so I was making sure I was really awake when I watched it. I guess it's Sergio Leone's last movie. There's a lot of controversy, I guess, about this movie, or about how much it was cut down. I guess originally it was about 5 hours. And this one is 2 hours or 226 minutes. So I guess this is longer than originally released in the United States. But I'm not too sure. It's hard to explain what the movie's about. It kind of follows a gang. They don't really seem like a gang, though. That was kind of interesting. They seem more like real people, I guess. And that's kind of like what their job is. It never really... It's kind of... I guess you kind of assume why they started crime. but it didn't really come out and say it, which was nice. You know, it wasn't a lot of exposition of, you know, why they're doing all this stuff. And it's pretty violent. If you like violent, gory things, it's pretty cool. And the acting is really great. And there's some good scenes. It kind of reminds me of like a Quentin Tarantino movie where there's like overall the movie's like you don't understand really what the story is, or but there's some good scenes that are fun to watch. You know, we want to watch again and again. I don't know. It's hard to say how I feel about it because I don't feel like I've watched the whole movie because so much is. Some parts it kind of just jumps around and you don't know. You're kind of just thrown into the middle of it, I guess. But Robert De Niro plays in this one, and he's the main star of it. I like this one. It's really cool. It was fun to watch. The last ones are just the games I got. Well, I got this. It was Lego Indiana Jones. I got it with Kung Fu Panda for $10 originally. I don't know how much it is now. Some of the Lego games don't go down in price that much. But some of my other videos, I've already talked about this, and this is probably my second playthrough trying to complete everything. Update from that other video I made, I'm about 90% done. I've been playing it every once in a while, kind of losing steam on it. So yeah, that's been fun. I like that a lot. The last one I